So we saw the procession, the cross carried around through the Colosseum and up the edge of the Palatine Hill. We saw Pope Benedict carrying the cross during that last station, and now he speaks to the pilgrims here in Rome. Dear brothers and sisters, once more, in meditation, in prayer and song, we have now recalled Jesus' journey along the way of the cross. A journey seemingly hopeless, yet one that changed human life and history and opened the way to a new heavens and a new earth. Quotation from Revelation 21. Especially today, Good Friday, the Church commemorates with deep spiritual union the death of the Son of God on the cross. In his cross, the Church sees the tree of life, which blossoms in new hope. The experience of suffering and of the cross touches all of humanity. It touches the family too. How often does the journey become wearisome and difficult? Misunderstandings, conflicts, worry for the future of our children, sickness, problems of every kind. These days, too, the situation of many families is made worse by the threat of unemployment and other negative effects of the current economic crisis. The way of the cross, which we have spiritually retraced this evening, invites all of us, our families especially, to contemplate Christ crucified in order to have the power to overcome difficulties. The cross of Christ is the supreme sign of God's love for every man and woman, the superabundant response to every person's need for love. At times of trouble, when our families have to face pain and adversity, let us look to Christ's cross. There we can find the courage and the strength to press on. There we can repeat with firm hope the words of St. Paul in the letter to the Romans in chapter 8, "Who will separate us from the love of Christ? Will hardship or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or the sword? No. In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." In times of trial and tribulation, we are not alone. The family is not alone. Jesus is present with his love. He sustains them with his grace and grants the strength needed to carry on, the strength needed to make sacrifices and overcome every obstacle. And it is to this love of Christ that we must turn when human turmoil and difficulties threaten the unity of our lives and our families. The mystery of Christ's suffering, death and resurrection inspires us to go on in hope. Times of trouble and testing, which endured with Christ, with faith in him, already contains the light of the resurrection, the new life of a world reborn, the Passover of all those who believe in his word. Final words of this meditation from Pope Benedict: in that crucified man who is the Son of God, even death itself takes on a new meaning and a purpose. It is redeemed and overcome. It becomes a passage to new life. Quotation from John's Gospel in chapter 12. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just a single grain, but if it dies, it produces much fruit. Let us entrust ourselves to the Mother of Christ. May Mary, who accompanied her Son along his way of sorrows, who stood beneath the cross at the hour of his death, and who inspired the Church at its birth to live in God's presence, may she lead our hearts and the hearts of every family through the vast mystery of passion, towards the mystery that is the Paschal mystery, towards that light which breaks forth from Christ's resurrection and reveals the definitive victory of love, joy and life over evil, suffering and death.
della gioia della vita sul male, sulla sofferenza, sulla morte. Amen.